Hello everyone, and welcome to the OMindfulness online meditation. Thank you for being here. We're here to support each other in our formal mindfulness practice. So we know mindfulness is good for us, it's good for our mood, it's good for our health, it's good for our relationships, and sometimes it's hard to keep going with a regular sitting practice. So please listen to the YouTube broadcasts that have been posted from the past, and it's lovely to share this with you today. I'm going to guide us in 10 minutes mindfulness of the breath and share a few words about expanded attention or expanding awareness. And before we start, it's worth mentioning that when we focus on the breath, that's our intention, is to be as closely connected as we can with the physical sensations of breathing. And we pick up the detail, we're really curious, we do it kindly. It's a wonderful way of coming into the moment, and it triggers the parts of the brain associated with compassion. So that generates compassion for ourselves, and naturally that compassion expands to other people. So that's the first layer of intention with the mindfulness of the breath meditation. While we're focusing on the breath, all sorts of other things happen. The mind wanders, we realize that we have some emotions present, we might be calm, we might be enjoying the tranquility of the focus, we might be irritated or impatient, there may be emotions that come up from other events of the day or our lives. And so while our practice is to focus on the breath, all these other things happen alongside. And so if we can expand our awareness from just the simple focus of the physical feelings of breathing, then we can include all these other experiences of the now. And we observe them with the same kindness, the same curiosity, the same interest. And it requires a little bit more spaciousness to be able to hold all of that in our awareness at the same time. So we're being the observer not only of the physical sensations of breathing, we're also being the observer of the thoughts and the emotions that come up as we do that practice. It's a little bit like a full summit when you're hiking. There you are heading towards the top, and when you get near the top, there's another summit appears behind. And so there we are, focusing on the breath and getting in connection with that. And then we realize that there's more to be observed. So if at any point you get lost in all of that, just come back to the breath, come back to your favorite place of feeling the breath in the body, and use that as an anchor. So when we're ready, closing our eyes, for 10 minutes, mindfulness of the breath. First of all, noticing how it feels to sit. Directing attention into the body. And just scanning through the places of contact with the chair or with the floor if you're sitting on a cushion. Which parts of the body can we feel easily? The points of pressure and touch. and gently coming towards those physical sensations. And then noticing the other feelings, maybe slightly less apparent. Maybe there's some tingling. Maybe the first set of sensations change as we observe them. Connecting with the present moment by connecting with how it feels to sit. Taking a moment with the hands, perhaps. The tips of the fingers. The warmth in your lap or on your knees. Or maybe with the palms turned upwards. Being interested in the physical sensations in the hands. And paying attention to the body in this way helps us to come home to the moment. And it may feel like coming home to ourselves. And then once we're here, more or less, we invite our attention to the breath. Noticing perhaps movement in the abdomen. Not changing anything, simply observing how the body breathes by itself. And noticing the ribs moving. And it might become apparent that the movement of the rib cage is not one single event, but a series of fluid movements generated by the intercostal muscles. Coordinating to create the bellows effect. Drawing in and expelling air at exactly the right rate. And we can observe with interest. And the air moving in the nostrils. And by now the mind has probably wandered several times. That's all part of a meditation. The idea is not to get caught up in the thoughts. The idea is to observe them and come back to the breath. Perhaps with a slightly expanded awareness of the present moment. Because we are aware of the breath and aware of the thoughts too. Being the equanimous observer, the witness. The witness who doesn't judge, no passing of opinion or criticism or preference. The witness takes the attitude of, so that's what's happening. And each time we come back to the breath, we're training ourselves to be present. Taking each opportunity to come back kindly to the moment and to the breath. And where do you connect most readily with the breath? Lingering in that place or those places. Observing the breath with enough spaciousness that we can also be aware of perhaps the mood of the moment and the thoughts that pass. Observing this breath and this one. Sitting with ourselves kindly. And being aware of our experience. Not only the breath, but the thoughts and the emotions that arise as we practice. And the more gentle we can be, the more spaciousness is possible. It comes from tuning our attention just right, not striving too hard, not being too relaxed. But brightly alert. And staying with a few more breaths. Aware of the physical sensations of breathing. Conscious of ourselves in a slightly expanded way at the same time. Present with the breath and kindly present with ourselves, the breather. And when we're ready, opening our eyes. I always need a little stretch. So we said our few words about expanded awareness at the beginning. We had a little practice. And this week, I encourage you to go about your formal and your informal practice in the same way. And so when you're in your day-to-day activities, maybe you can have a sense of wholeness, a sense of what you're doing as a task, and a sense of how you're feeling and your thoughts at the same time, aware of yourself going about your daily tasks. And it can really bring another quality to your day and to your experience. I used it a couple of days ago when I was a passenger for my friend's qualification at being a tandem paraglider pilot. And so I've never been on a paraglider before. And we had 3 flights, and I decided not to take my camera. And it was an amazing experience. The 3rd flight, we really took off and went up in the thermals, and we were there with the eagle vultures, and it was just stunning. And I realized that not only did I not take my camera because I wanted to really focus on doing the right thing as a passenger, but also it gave me that total presence. I was there absorbing it all, aware of the fear and the exhilaration and the joy that Brian got his license. And so I now have, I did not only experienced it fully while it was happening, but now the memories are rich and full because I was really there and I can remember a lot of detail. So Try the expanded awareness in your day-to-day lives and in your formal practice. I look forward to seeing you again soon for another shared meditation. Thank you for being here.